Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we are doing a book haul. I have a bunch of library books, a little bit of book mail, and a couple of books I picked out at Barnes & Noble, so I'm just throwing them all together and we're gonna hop in. I have tons of mysteries and thrillers sprinkled in with a little bit of historical fiction, and we're just gonna go ahead and hop into the first book. So this first book I'm really excited for. I requested this at my library and it just came in and I got it, and that is Ashes to Ashes, Crust to Crust by Mindy Quigley. This is the second book in the deep dish pizza mystery series. This is the cover. We have our fun cat butterball on the cover here, and basically in this series our main character is Delilah O'Leary, and she has opened a deep dish pizzeria in Geneva Bay, Wisconsin, which is this town, like a small town with a really great like mob history, which is kind of an interesting aspect. I'm looking forward to that maybe being part of the series as we go along, I'm not sure, but I'm excited for that. In this one she's trying to win the Taste of Wisconsin culinary contest to put her restaurant like on the map, to, you know, win the prize, that sort of thing. And her fiance, her ex-fiance I should say, is also there, and he's actually dating the juice bar owner at this like contest, and unfortunately somebody at the competition dies after they drink one of the juice bar owner's concoctions. So Delilah starts to kind of investigate to clear the person's name. So I'm really excited for this. I absolutely love Butterball. The first book in the series was top notch and Butterball is the best. I mean, the cat is hilarious. The cat has more personality than a lot of humans, and who doesn't love pizza? So this is just a really fun, cozy series that I've really been enjoying, and I'm really excited to be jumping into book 2. So the next one is a book from another series that I really love. This is the Library Lovers Mystery Series by Jenn McKinlay. This book is Killer Research, which I want to say is like book 10, 11 or so. It's deep into the series. This is the cover right here, and it does take place during spring, so perfect timing. Basically we have our main character Lindsay, and she runs the library. She's like the director of the library, and she's a really great character. I really enjoy reading about her, but she has recently gotten married. She's a newlywed and they are enjoying their new life together when tragedy strikes, and this woman who is a big character at the library, Miss Cole, I love her. She's really great, but she's kind of a very uptight, type A, like very by the book, rules have to be followed kind of lady, but we've kind of seen her evolve throughout the series and I really like her character. But in this one she actually opens up the trunk of her car one day to find a dead body, and the body is not only, well, the body in her trunk, which is obviously disturbing, but it's someone she dated like 40 years ago. And this is bad for many reasons. One, because there's a body in her trunk, obviously that's bad, but two, she's running for mayor of the town, doesn't look good, and the person who is in her trunk is also one of the founders of the baking empire, Nana's Cookies. So the town gossip mill is going crazy, and Lindsay is trying to clear Miss Cole's name because she knows that she didn't do it, and to try to figure out how this happened. Like, can you even imagine opening your trunk and finding that? I think I just have a heart attack right then and there. I don't know what. But I'm really excited for this. This is a great series, really fun, great writing. Jenn McKinlay is one of my favorite cozy writers, so very excited. Next we have a thriller. This is a debut. I'm really excited. This is called The House in the Pines by Anna Reyes. It's a Reese's book club pick. Really fun. I thought this would be a good one for this time of year because it kind of, I don't know, gives me kind of summery vibes with the woods. And basically we have our main character Maya, and during high school one of her friends died like really mysteriously, and she just like dropped dead in front of this man named Frank, and I don't think they were ever able to like solve this crime. This is really stuck with Maya. She witnessed it and it was just a really disturbing event in her life, of course. Fast forward 7 years later and she's now struggling to cope with this. She's struggling with some kind of addiction. She's kind of in a rough relationship, it sounds like, and she actually sees this YouTube video where someone else in her hometown dies again very mysteriously, just suddenly in front of the same man. And now Maya is like, that's it, I gotta solve this, I gotta figure this out, I gotta put this to rest. She also has gaps in her memory from the night that it happened with her friend, so she really wants to just put her mind at rest and find out what happened. I'm really excited. I think the concept for this is really interesting, so I'm super excited for this one, and yeah, we'll see how this goes. Okay, the next one I have is actually a bit of book mail. I had an author reach out to me and offer to send me this book. I'm very excited, so we're gonna go ahead and open it. And they wrote me just a really sweet card, a beautiful card, and I'm very excited for this. Okay, So this book I talked about in the new May Cozy Mystery Releases video I did recently. I'll link it above if you want to check it out. But this is called A Deed of Dreadful Note. It's book 1 in the Anna Katharine Green mystery series written by Patricia Meredith. So I am familiar with the author's work. I have read her first 3 books in the Spokane Clock Tower mystery series, which is another historical fiction cozy mystery series. I highly recommend it. It's really good. And when I found out she was releasing this book, I got really excited. So this is the cover. It's absolutely stunning. And this one actually uses a real-life person, Anna Katharine Green, who is a prolific mystery writer. And she actually was publishing mystery novels 15 years before Sir Arthur Conan Doyle published his first Sherlock Holmes, A Study in Scarlet. So she really inspired the creation of a lot of detectives like Sherlock and Hercule Poirot, and she also had used a lot of the common tropes and things that we really recognize as the mystery genre now. So I'm really excited for this. She sounds like a wonderful person. I'm not familiar with her work in real life, so I'm now really inspired to read some of her work as well. But this one takes place with Anna Katharine Green as the main character, and basically she finds one of her father's clients murdered, and a young girl is actually accused of the murder, and she's convinced that there's no way that this young girl did it, and so she takes the girl's case on and basically tries to solve the mystery to prove that the girl is innocent. So, fantastic premise. I love the red on the cover. How just stunning. And this is described as a love letter to mystery and writing itself. A Deed of Dreadful Note is an homage and reintroduction to an author who was the Agatha Christie of her time, but a forgotten female today. And it's also supposed to kind of give maybe some ideas of how Anna Katharine Green could have been inspired to write her first book, so there might be like some kind of incorporation there. I'm really excited. This book is beautiful, so thank you so much to Patricia Meredith for sending this to me. I cannot wait to read it. Next we have one from another series that I've just loved, and that is Death of a Trophy Wife, a Jane Austen mystery. This is from the author Laura Levine, who is, in my opinion, first and foremost a comedy writer. These are like a cozy mystery series. There's always a murder mystery involved, but the writing style is so heavy on the comedy. It's really punchy, it's fast-paced, it's funny, it's very self-deprecating. I mean, the main character's name is Jane Austen, and she's a freelance writer, and she's always taking on all this like weird gig work basically to make ends meet, and that puts her in a lot of strange situations where she ends up in these hijinks. And her cat's name is Prozac, and Prozac is my favorite sorry, out of context that sounds really weird, but Prozac is my favorite cat or like animal sidekick in anything. I love the cat so much. So in this one we have Jane's friend Lance, who offers to treat her to like this spa visit because she's kind of down on her luck in between work, as kind of usual for the start of these books. So Jane happily accepts, she's excited, and they actually end up bumping into one of his friends because he works in a shoe shop, so he knows a lot of people through that. And her name is Bunny, and she is a trophy wife, like of a super rich mattress maven, as the author puts it. And she offers Jane the advertising campaign for her husband's work. So Jane's really excited. She ends up going to this like party at their home where she sees Bunny's true nature, which is this like really ruthless diva, and she's not thrilled with that, but she's like, okay, I really need the money. And then tragedy strikes, and of course the trophy wife, Bunny, is struck down in some way, murdered, and Jane is involved in another mystery. So very excited. This is one I save for just like a night where I need like a really funny, lighthearted, fast-paced read, because these never disappoint. They're always just hilarious. Next one we have is a popular thriller going around on YouTube. I thought it sounded really interesting. That is The Last Word by Taylor Adams. I saw this with the book of the month, and I saw it was at my library, so I was like, perfect. Checked it out, and I have to say, I actually did start this one the other day, and I DNF'd it. So, but I'll give you a quick synopsis. The idea is basically that the main character writes a negative review, a 1-star review of this author's like novel, and she starts to get harassing messages from the author asking her to take it down, saying how it's affecting his livelihood, how it's mean, like, you know, just bothering her, like kind of breaking that unspoken rule that, you know, you can review things how you want. Basically, this was like really scary for me to read because, you know, I never want to rag on someone's work, but I want to give an honest review for everyone watching. So I was kind of reading this and I was like, okay, this is creepy. And she starts to get harassed. She's out in this like isolated cabin in the middle of nowhere. She's like house sitting, and she just has herself and her dog, and she starts to get like, you know, people coming to the door, all these creepy things are happening, and I just couldn't get into the writing style, and the main character was driving me crazy. So I did end up DNFing this. I will talk about it more in my reading wrap-up for this month, but I really couldn't get into this. I don't know what it was. I just wasn't engaged at all. Next we have another new cozy mystery series. This is one I had on my most anticipated like want to read list this year, and I've been waiting a couple months at my library for it. This is Eat, Drink, and Drop Dead by T.C. LoTempio. This is a Tiffany Austen food blogger mystery. It is book 1 in the series. It just came out this year. So the basic premise for this is our main character is Tiffany, and she is a food critic and food blogger, and she writes for this like Southern style magazine, like a food column, and she's been enjoying writing for them, but her time with the contract for her writing gig is almost up, and she's wondering if it's going to be renewed or if it will be given to her rival. And her and the rival actually have a big public fight, and later on the rival is found to be dead, and Tiffany is a suspect in the murder because of their fight. So I'm really excited for this. I really love reading about writers as like the main characters in books, and I feel like it's just a really fun perspective to read from, especially because the author of course knows what it's like to be a writer, and then especially throwing like the food and the food critic part. I'm all there. And this is such a fun cover. It's really unique. I think I had some of you point out that it kind of reminds you of a blog, like the structure of it, which I could definitely see, and I'm very excited for this. It also looks like it has a cat involved in it. According to the back, it says sure to be a hit with cat lovers and cozy readers. So I love both. So I'm really excited for this and can't wait to see how it goes. So this next thriller was one I saw Taya recommending, and I really thought she sounded so excited about it. It got me excited for it. And this is called What Lies in the Woods by Kate Alice Marshall. And I love the cover. I think it's very like kind of simple but very stark. And this one's creepy. So we have basically a trio of 3 girls, and when they were 11, we have our main character Naomi, and so her and her 2 friends, when they were 11 years old, were attacked. So Naomi was attacked and she survived 17 stab wounds while her friends watched in horror, and they were the ones who went and got somebody after the person left, and she kind of became a bit of a hero for surviving this. Fast forward to the future, and she's an adult. She's got, a lot of mental health struggles, I would imagine. And it basically says that the girl's testimony put away a serial killer, and they were heroes in the town's eyes because they put this bad man behind bars. But the problem is that they were lying. So fast forward all these years later, and Naomi wants to really get to the bottom of what actually happened because she doesn't have like a very strong memory of what happened, and she comes back into town and she starts to really dig into it and find out what lies in the woods where all this happened so many years ago. So this one sounds really fun. I can't wait for this. It sounds just super fast paced, like a really good summer read. So very excited for this one. So this next one is called Dial A for Aunties by Jessie Q. Sutanto. I'm excited. I've heard some really good things about this. I think the basic premise of this is our main character actually ends up accidentally killing someone on her blind date, which I want to find out how that happened, because that seems like it'd be difficult to do probably. But she ends up calling her mom for help because she's like, I don't know what to do, and her mom calls her meddlesome aunts, Dial A for Aunties, and her aunts help her get rid of the body or hide it or cover it up in some way. Okay, that's an interesting concept for sure. Unfortunately, things go awry when the body is accidentally put in this big cooler for this big, like, show-stopping wedding for, like, a billionaire. And so the aunties and our main character have to figure out how to get the body out of that cooler before it's discovered and traced back to them. And there's also, like, kind of a romantic subplot where, like, her ex is, like, coming back into her life and she's trying to charm him back into her life, on top of all of this madness going on. So very interesting, kind of reminds me of like Finley Donovan, where it's definitely more of like a morally gray protagonist, probably not like a straight up cozy mystery, but definitely on the cozier side of things. So I'm excited. I've heard some really fun things about this. It's supposed to be really clever and just funny, and it sounds like a really great fun read. Okay, so this next one is another one I've seen on BookTube a lot. It sounds fun. It's called The Only Survivors, a novel by Miranda. I have read The Last House Guest and I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a really solid read, so I'm excited to read another book by her. The basic premise of this is that during her high school, there were like 2 buses, and one of them crashed, and they ended up leaving only 9 students who walked away, and their lives were forever changed by this traumatic incidents. And many years later, these survivors are trying to move on with their lives, but unfortunately one of them ends up actually taking their own life on the anniversary of the tragic event so many years later. So the survivors start to come together to kind of commiserate, to, come together to kind of mark this moment each year, and they may also be holding each other accountable for something. I'm not sure. We'll find out, I guess. One of the problems, though, is that our character that we're following, Cassidy, she has been distancing herself from the other survivors. She's changed her email address, her phone number. She doesn't want anything to do with the anniversary reunions they've been doing. However, on the day of the next anniversary, she gets a text that someone has been killed. So now there are only 7 survivors remaining, and Cassidy's really struggling with her guilt. And there's also maybe a question of, is someone taking these survivors out? Is somebody in the group worried that someone's going to tell something, a secret? I'm not really sure, but that's kind of my general thoughts so far. I think the cover for this is gorgeous, this gradient. Stunning. I think this is absolutely beautiful, and I can't wait to see what I think about this. Okay, and then I purchased a couple of books from Barnes & Noble, and I'm really excited to share those with you. We have book 3 of the Cheese Shop Mystery Series by Korina. This is called Curds of Prey. I recently finished the first one in the series, Cheddar Off Dead, and I loved it. Absolutely fantastic. I have Gone for Gouda book 2, which I'm going to start soon, I think, because this one actually takes place during the summer, so I want to read this during the summer. So even though book 2 takes place in fall, I think I'm going to just go ahead and read it so I can read this one in a timely manner, especially because book 4 is coming out later this year. So that's my plan for this, but our main character in this is Willa. She is a cheesemonger. She's opened this French-inspired cheese shop in Sonoma Valley. She's a really great character. I really enjoyed her personality. I just thought the mystery itself was really well written. It's summertime, and Willa has been hired to create a cheese bar for this wedding shower. It's supposed to be the wedding of the season. The groom is actually the mayor's nephew, so it's a big talk around town, and she's going to be doing the cheese bar, which, can I please be invited somewhere with a cheese bar? That sounds so good. I love dessert, but a cheese bar, I would be all over that. That sounds amazing. But Willa has been hired for that, and things are kind of tense because the family, it sounds like who's hosting it, is just really all over her. Just, maybe high maintenance, not the best to deal with in terms of a client, but she's getting through it until the end of the day when she finds the groom's body, who, like I said, happens to also be the mayor's nephew. So now the mayor is pushing Willa to solve the mystery, and just this very high profile case, and just the poor bride. Poor bride. But the cheese, look at the cheese on it's like a cheesecake, but it's actual cheese. I love it. It sounds like there'll be a lot of drama too, because this involves 2 of Sonoma Valley's most powerful families, most well-known families, so a lot of drama, a lot of gossip. This is gonna be fun. I love the idea for this, the artwork on this, absolutely stunning. I love the artwork on this. The next book I got was one of my most anticipated releases for this year, and that is Misfortune Cookie by Vivien and Chien. This is a Noodle Shop mystery. It is book 9 in the series. It just came out in June, and I am beyond excited. I couldn't wait. My library doesn't have it. I don't know if they're going to get it, but I need it. I really need this series. So the Noodle Shop mystery series takes place with our main character, Lana Lee. She is just this amazing millennial protagonist. I really love her. She works at her family's noodle shop in this place called Asia Village, which is a plaza with all these different Asian establishments. So there's an Asian beauty salon and nail salon. There's a different restaurants. There's a bar. There's a CD shop. There's a donut shop. All these great places. And this one's actually unique because it takes place away from Asia Village, which is unique because most of them do take place on the premise there. So this one actually takes place outside of Asia Village, outside of Cleveland, Ohio, and actually on the other side of the country. So Lana and her sister Anna May, who kind of have a tense relationship, but they love each other, but it's tense, siblings, nothing too shocking there. They actually go on this trip to the other side of the country into California, and things are going okay. And they are going on this trip along with their very Americanized Aunt Grace, who sounds like she lives a pretty lavish, posh lifestyle. Sounds like it's gonna be fun. They're going to this convention, and they actually witness a shouting match between a fortune cookie retailer or seller and a journalist. And later that night, the journalist is found dead, they might have jumped off the building. But Lana suspects otherwise, and with the help of her family starts to nose around and investigate. I love the series so much. These mysteries are fabulous. The characters are great. The family is just so lovable and realistic and fun. I just love all the characters. I love Asia Village. I'm really excited for this, that it takes place outside of Asia Village just for a change of scenery. The cover is just stunning. I'm so incredibly excited for this one. And then lastly, this one is actually a new to me series and author. I just picked it up because my library doesn't have this book and it's been on my TBR for a while because it looks really good. This is called A Steady and Scarlet Woman, first in the Lady Sherlock series by Sherry Thomas. So in this one, our main character is actually Charlotte Holmes, and she is the daughter of Sherlock Holmes and I'm guessing Irene Adler. I don't know that for sure, but that would be my guess. And Charlotte has, she's kind of in the upper class. She's never really gotten along with the societal pressure to be very demure and very graceful and to not, speak your mind, anything like that. But she actually finds herself outcast on the streets, and there's a rash of crimes in town, and unexpected deaths, and suspicion actually falls on her sister and her father. So Charlotte ends up, along with the help of a couple of other people, including a kind-hearted widow, a police inspector, and a man who has long loved her. But she actually ends up assuming the name Sherlock Holmes to investigate and escape society's kind of outlook on women and to also get to the bottom of the case. So I'm really excited for this. The cover, beautiful, absolutely stunning. I think this is just gorgeous artwork. I am really excited for this. So those are the 3 books I ended up picking up at Barnes & Noble, and along with we have their nice stack from the library and our book sent from Patricia Meredith. Thank you again for that book. I'm so excited to read it. And thank you guys for watching till the end. Please let me know, have you read any of the books I mentioned here? Did you like them? What were your thoughts on them? And let me know, have you picked up any books from your library or bookstore recently? I would love to hear about it. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you're not already. I do post new book content every week on the channel, especially in the mystery and thriller genre. So if you like those, I know you'll really like the content here. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!